Hi, Emily. I'm so excited to have you on the Dream Big podcast.
Hi, thanks for having me.
It is such an honor to have you here. And I know that there's so many exciting things for us to discuss today. Your books, your TED Talks, your TV shows. But one thing that they all revolve around is STEM. Can you share what the STEM acronym stands for?
Right, yeah. So STEM means science, technology, engineering, and math.
Wow, one of the big issues that many leaders like you are raising is the lack of women in STEM. And I know that that's not entirely true. There's some amazing women like you in STEM, but you went to MIT, and it's one of the top engineering schools in the world. And what percentage of your class was female?
Right. Oh, it's such a good question. And it really depends on where you're at. Because when I was an undergrad, maybe in like a 50-person classroom, there was only maybe two or three girls in the entire classroom. And so it was mostly boys, mostly boys. When I got to grad school at MIT, it was a bit more balanced, which was really nice. I met a lot of my best girlfriends there, but
Mhm.
in undergrad, it wasn't great.
Well, the good news is that there are many people working hard to get young girls and adults excited about STEM. Like I remember when I was younger, my parents got me the Goldie Block set and books, and I actually heard that you wrote an amazing series of books called the Ada Lace books, and it's about a girl in third grade, Ada, who does science and engineering and math, which is amazing. And how did you get inspired to write these books? And what do you hope to accomplish?
Yeah, oh, it's such a good question. So I wanted to make the books because when I was growing up, I didn't really have a lot of books about science and adventure that featured little girls as the main character. So I wanted to create one. And so the Ada Lace Adventures is, like you said, about this girl who loves science and technology, and she goes on adventures to solve mysteries with technology and gadgets that she builds herself. She is just this like really, really cool girl that loves science. And honestly, the only thing that I'm hoping to achieve with that is that one, little boys and girls love it, and that they can find a character that they love who just happens to love science and technology.
That's amazing. And actually, I saw as when I was preparing for the interview that an astronaut actually read those books in outer space. How did you feel when you saw that?
Oh my gosh, that was a dream come true. So the third book in the series, Ada Lace Take Me to Your Leader, that went to the International Space Station through this program called the Storytime from Space program. And like you said, an
Wow.
astronaut read it aloud on video. So it's a read aloud for other people to watch. And she read it aloud, and you could see the earth in the background, and she's floating weightless. And it's just like a dream come true to be able to see my book in space.
That is amazing. And speaking of outer space, you host an incredible show called Exploration Outer Space that actually my family has been streaming on Amazon Prime Video. And there are so many amazing episodes. But one that really stuck out was how you were sharing how going on a roller coaster was kind of like being in space. And I hope that one day we can all go to space. But for now, can you share in what ways riding a roller coaster is the best, closest thing?
Yes, that was one of my favorite episodes we did. So I literally went to Orlando, Florida, and rode all of these amusement park rides with an astronaut. And so we were just in the parks all day long, riding different roller coasters. And he was telling me how you experience different G forces. G stands for gravitational forces. So it's kind of like if you had a person sitting on your chest, you feel the gravitational force. And you can feel the same G forces that an astronaut feels when they're on a rocket leaving the planet on a
Wow.
roller coaster, which I did not realize. So you can experience two Gs, which is like another one of you sitting on your chest on a roller coaster. You can also feel a little bit weightless on a roller coaster. If you go over a hump in a roller coaster and your butt lifts off your seats and you feel airtime
Mhm.
for just a little bit, That's what feeling weightless is like. That's what an astronaut feels like in space.
That's amazing. And I think that honestly, I would love being an astronaut because I love roller coasters. And
Mhm.
even last year for my birthday, I took 4 of my closest girlfriends to Six Flags Magic Mountain. And there was literally not one roller coaster that I would not ride.
See, you're already training to be an astronaut.
I heard that you've done 3 TED Talks, and one is called I Don't Do Math.
Mhm.
So, where you talk about how people sometimes proudly say, I don't do math, but you would never really hear someone say proudly, I don't read. And yet, people think math is not necessary. Why is STEM so important, and why have you dedicated your life to getting kids and adults excited about STEM?
Yeah. That was one of my more fun talks that I gave because I started off saying I don't do math because you grow up and you hear a lot of people say that really proudly, but I feel like that's kind of silly because math and science are all around us. Science is the language of nature. You can find science and math in everything that we do. And so being able to learn that means you get to look behind the curtain and understand how everything around you works. It's kind of like magic to everybody else, but if you understand science and math, you can understand how all that stuff works. And for me, that's like magic. That's like being Harry Potter, being able to understand all of that stuff. So that's why I get really excited about it.
I think that it's so important to remember that so many of the things that kids love, internet, cameras, iPhones, Pixar movies, and the podcast that they're listening to right now, and all your exploration out of space shows and your YouTube channel, it all would not be possible without STEM, right?
That's exactly right. And we need smart kids to be able to work on all of those things to make them better, to invent the next YouTube, invent the next Amazon Prime or Netflix or whatever it is, to be able to stream new types of movies and creative things that they're ultimately going to make. So we need a lot of really smart people working on this stuff.
For sure. And one way that I know kids get excited about STEM is to do hands on experiments. And I've got to say, Emily, you share so many fun experiments on your YouTube channel. And actually, in the beginning of quarantine, I tried a couple with my sister and my grandma. I mean, tried the naked egg experiment with my grandma, where you soak an egg in vinegar for 24 hours.
That's
And
one
I
of my
thought,
favorites.
yeah, it's one of my favorites too, after the floating stick man.
Oh my
And
gosh, those are both
yeah.
so much fun. I love doing that. My favorite thing is after you get the naked egg and you bounce
Hmm.
it higher and higher and higher and higher and higher and see
And
how
then
high
it
you can bounce it
pops.
until it splats.
Yeah. I actually saw that you soaked it in honey after you soaked it in vinegar. And what difference did that make?
Yeah, so that science experiment is all about the science of osmosis, where water concentrations on one side of something wants to be about the same as the other side of something. So if you put an egg in vinegar, the water in vinegar is much, much higher than the water in the egg. So what happens is the water wants to rush out of the vinegar into the egg, and after you do that for a day, it makes the egg bigger because it has more water in it. But now all of a sudden, with the egg that has more water in it, if you put it in honey, then all the water wants to rush out of the egg. So by putting that naked egg in honey, you're going to shrivel your egg because all of that water is going to want to march right out of the egg.
Wow. I definitely need to try that, soaking it in honey after vinegar. Sounds like
Yep.
fun. And we'll definitely put a link to your YouTube channel in this podcast show notes. And I was wondering, I know you said that the naked egg and floating stick man are some of your favorites. What are some other favorites of yours, of your experiments?
Yes. One of the ones that I love doing is the can crushing experiment. So when you boil a can of like a Coke can on the stove for 5 minutes, then after that, you flip it over and put it into a bucket of ice and water, and the can just crushes from the power of
Wow.
the air. The air in the atmosphere is really, really powerful, and we don't really notice it all that much, but it's so powerful that once you do that, it can crush a can, and it happens so fast. And anytime I show it to somebody, they're always like, because it's just like so violent and it happens so quickly.
That's amazing, and I cannot wait to try that experiment. And what I love about your YouTube channel is that not only do you share the experiment, but you also share the science behind it.
That's right. Yeah.
And on top of your books, TED Talks, exploration show, YouTube channel, you're actually publishing a Netflix show, which will be publishing around the time that this episode gets published. And I was
Yes.
wondering, can you tell us about Emily's Wonder Lab?
Yes. Oh my gosh. I am so excited about this because I've been keeping a secret for so long. So it comes out on August 25th on Netflix. Emily's Wonder Lab. It's the show where I work with 10 kids and we're just doing science experiments in every single episode and talking about the
Wow.
science behind them. So it's a lot of the stuff that you would see on my YouTube channel, but just much bigger and cooler and more colorful and with kids because, it's Netflix. We just want it to be way more fun.
That's amazing. And I actually saw a clip of the Netflix YouTube of you creating a rainbow bubbles. And that looks like so much fun. And I know that
anything that's colorful is going to be great.
For sure. Super colorful and super exciting. And I know that I speak on the behalf of myself and all my big dreamers that we are so excited to watch your new Netflix show.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
For a couple last questions, I was wondering if you go back in time and talk to your 11-year-old self, what would be the best advice?
You know what? I would just tell my 11-year-old self that it's okay to fail at stuff. I think I was really, really nervous about getting things wrong. And sometimes that meant that I didn't try hard things. Because if you're always afraid of failing, then you're not going to try something that you think you might fail at, right? And I would tell my younger self that you learn a lot by failing and it's good to fail. So try all of the hard things, try the things that you might fail at because that's where you're going to learn the most and that's where you're going to have the most fun.
What is your big dream for the future?
My big dream for the future. My big dream for the future is that there are an equal number of little boys and little girls that are pursuing science, that everybody feels that science is for them, that everybody feels welcome in science. That's something that I'm working toward, and that's something that I hope we can achieve.
That's an amazing advice. Where can our audience find out more about you?
So I am online at The Space Gal because I love space and NASA and aliens and all of that stuff, rockets, spaceships, everything. So you can find me on every single social media platform, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, at The Space Gal.
You heard her, big dreamers. Go check out at the
Oh, sorry, you cut out for a second.
Well, thank you so much. I loved having you here. It's been an honor having you on the show.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.